Dennis O'Brien back again on Let's Talk About It. Unfortunately, without Susan Johnson, we're expecting her momentarily. I'm here with Bill Sayers, the council member Sayers, who was newly elected as the chair of the Windham Democratic Town Committee, something that I'm very familiar with. I did that for a while, and we have a guest who, I don't know, you might have known me back then, Lieutenant Governor Bysiewicz, when I was chairing the town committee, or at least I was buzzing around doing a lot of work on the election campaigns.
Oh, I sure do remember you as probate judge, as Democratic Town Chair, and as all-around advocate for Windham. And I was so happy to visit Windham earlier this week, and I was able to announce, along with State Representative Susan Johnson, whom I think you know, and Council Member Bill Sayers and Tom DeVivo, Mayor, a $2 million grant to Father Honan Terrace for modernization of that housing for the residents in that community. And really, it's going to be great because there will be replacement of all of the kitchens and the bathrooms with Energy Star appliances that'll make them much more energy efficient. And there's going to be ADA upgrades to the bathroom and the bathrooms. There'll also be replacement with LED lighting, and there will be all kinds of replacement of heat pumps too, and painting and water heater replacements, and there'll be a backup generator too, so that, you know, when we have these storms, if the power goes out, folks will have their power back on immediately from the generators. So this is really important, because we want to make sure, when we have such a demand for housing in our state, and we have a great demand in eastern Connecticut, that our existing housing is kept modern and beautiful, and that's really important. And that housing complex was built in the 1970s, so it's very clear that renovations are needed. So I was very happy to be there to announce on behalf of both Joe Courtney and on behalf of our housing commissioner, Salem Mascara Bruno, the $2 million to renovate those units.
Well, I hope you know, Susan, it's Bill Sayers. I hope you know just how appreciative we are that you spend as much time here in Windham as you do, because we need your assistance. We are very appreciative of your assistance. I think that the residents at Father Honan Terrace are going to be great benefactors of this money, and I think that it will be well spent in updating that facility.
Right. And look, Bill, we believe in your leadership, and when I say your leadership, I mean Tom DeVivo and you and the whole council team. And we also really appreciate the advocacy of Senator May Flexer and State Representative Susan Johnson. So it's a team effort. You know that phrase, it takes a village. This is an example of the village, because this was money from our federal delegation. So thank you, Joe Courtney. And what the state of Connecticut Department of Housing did was prioritize this money to upgrade our senior housing across Connecticut. So there were 8 towns that received money. And trust me, there were a lot of other towns in cities that had requests in, and it was advocacy from the town of Windham, from the legislative delegation, and the congressman that made this happen. So happy to be part of the team.
How fortunate are we that we have such a great group of elected officials that work together, right from Washington right down here to Windham. The residents of Windham benefit greatly.
Absolutely. And, the other fun thing that I wanted to mention, because the other announcement was approximately $50,000 in a Good to Great grant to benefit the Burton Levitt Theater. And that money will be used to replace seating in the theater. I had never been there, so we got a tour. The mayor and the councilman and I went on a tour with the head of the theater, and they had seats that were donated that used to be from the Jorgensen Auditorium that were clearly, I don't know, Bill, would you say 50-plus years old, maybe older?
At least. Remember, these were made with wood.
Right. So they were very old, and some of them were broken. It's hard to get out of them, I understand, once you sit down. So, because some of them are not working and aren't in good repair. And the thought was that new seating was needed, but seating that can be nimble. So seating that can go around tables or be configured in different ways. Those theater seats are very limited because they're in long rows. And so this will be nice for the theater because the theater will be able to host community events and conferences, and it'll just make it a much more accessible place for the community. And it was really fun to take a tour. I'd never been in there, and I hear the performances are spectacular.
Amazing performances. Yes.
And
but,
we should mention, Dennis and Bill, that theater is in an entertainment district, correct?
Oh yes. Our the majority of our main street is considered an entertainment district. Yes. We have a couple new restaurants that have opened downtown. We're seeing some significant growth around here.
Well, I've got a plan for a date night. Go see a show with my husband at the Burton Levitt Theater and go get some pizza at Trigo.
Oh, well, let us know you're coming, and I'll make the arrangements happen. Don't you worry.
Well, I think that people in your neck of the woods should check it out. And the reason that I know about Trigo Pizza is that I was able to be at their opening, which coincided with Mansfield and Windham having their restaurant week or restaurant month celebration.
Taste Two Towns, yes. That was a great celebration. Hey, somebody you're very familiar with has joined us, so maybe she'd like to say a word.
Hi, Lieutenant Governor Bysowitz.
Hello, State Representative. Clearly, she is very busy with her work at the Capitol.
I certainly, I was voting in appropriations, speaking to the treasurer, and doing all kind. I'm in the Human Services meeting, hearing rather. So sorry.
I know.
Came in late.
Susan Johnson multitasks. The Susans are famous for doing that.
Well, yes, I'm
getting high, so good for her.
Especially you. You're amazing, and it was great to see you the other day here at the press conference. And I thank you for all the work that you do and making sure that we are, utilizing the funds to excellent purpose.
Absolutely, and one other school that I hope to visit is Natchaug Elementary School. I understand that it was recently recognized as one of the state's best elementary schools, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So I am looking forward to perhaps coming out to see that.
Well, that would be great. We'd love to have you.
Yes, that would be wonderful. And also, thanks to the state, we are in the process of finishing up the renovation at Windham Public High School, and we'd love to have you go on a tour. We're supposed to have the House Chair of Education out, and maybe you can join him at some point in time when there were two things. One, a snowstorm stopped him, and the first time the meeting with Eastern Connecticut State University and UConn stopped us from having the tour. So, but I think the building will be farther along, so it'll be great to have you at Natchaug and Windham High.
That sounds absolutely terrific. Happy about both of those developments, and I understand you have some fantastic sports teams. They visited us at the Capitol, and are we having a good season this year?
Well, our girls' high school basketball team is playing in the state finals on Saturday morning at Mohegan Sun, 10 a.m. And I had the pleasure of coaching a lot of those kids when they were like, 6 to 8 years old in softball, especially, and a little bit in basketball. And I'm so proud, and the whole community is proud. And we're going to be down there at the Mohegan Sun and watching them play against St. Paul's from Bristol. That's a team I played against in scrimmages when I played at New Britain High School, and I think they're going to go all the way. Their coach Rob Manguel is a guy I coached with before. He's doing a marvelous job, and the kids are great. They just knocked off East Hampton, which had a 46-game winning streak, and we're so proud. It's amazing how you keep tabs on all this stuff.
I'll tell you this, that I was just reading about them, and I look forward to hosting them in my office, just like we've hosted past state champs. So I'll make that offer right now. But I'm going to have to give this over to State Representative Susan Johnson because, unfortunately, I've got to scoot for my next event. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
You're much appreciated.
Much appreciated.
You folks take care.
Okay, you too.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, welcome back, everyone. This is Susan Johnson. I'm here with our great people here from Windham, Bill Sayers, the chairman of the Democratic Town Committee and councilman for the town of Windham, and Dennis O'Brien, who is now back as an elected official for the Willimantic Service District, so taxing district, right? Taxing district.
We changed that, and a few years ago when I was on the Charter Commission, and it's great to have Bill here.
Yes, it is.
Bill is on fire. I mean, he's doing things all over the town. And for the past many years, I think he also served on the Water Commission with the great Mike Callahan, the chairman, and a lot of other great people, Anna Hope. And
we're very fortunate to have the commission that we have.
You got a great commission, and
they do an excellent job.
We have the best water in the state, and Bill has had a lot to do with that. And now he's back in electoral politics, and he has become a leader on the town council immediately. And he's also leading the Democratic Party, succeeding Leslie O'Brien. And those are tough shoes.
She's kind of familiar to you, isn't she?
Yeah. That's a tough act to follow, but so far so good, Bill.
Yeah, well,
doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have to admit, sometimes it's frustrating, but I'll hang in there.
I could have told you that. I've done that.
You did. You did it a long time.
Yeah, I did it a long time, and it's very fulfilling. The Democratic Party in this town has done so much for the town, and the one great thing about it, as Susan Beisowitz just mentioned when we had her on the air with us just now, is that we work together, and the state knows that, and the state isn't going to provide financial support to people who are not going to, who are going to fight all the time among themselves.
That's right.
They want people that are together on the same page, and they recognize when, Tom DeVivo and you and Jim Rivers and people like me and Murphy Sewell go to Hartford, and talk to the legislators at public hearings and whatnot. We demonstrate our unity, and I could name lots of other people, Barbara McGrath, that have done that, and it's just it just helps so much that we are we may sometimes disagree on a few minor matters in a minor way, but at the same time, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, we are together, and that is the role really of the chairman, and that's what you've already done a great job in that
thank
regard.
you. I think one of the other things I want to mention is the fact that I think right now we have a dynamic town council. I think that we are meshing and working together, and I think we're going to see a lot of things getting done. Not that I want to announce it or not, but I anticipate within the next couple of months we're going to have a new teen center on Main Street for the young folks in our community, and we'll be teaming up with a private organization to do that, and I've been working very, very hard on that, as has Councilwoman Niles. And so I think that I see a lot of positive things coming out of this council, and of course we couldn't do it without the support of our state rep and our state senator, Susan Johnson and May Flexer. We have to have the source, the income coming in, and they are great at bringing home the bacon. Can I say that?
Reminds me of John Lesko when John Lesko was our
The
John
apple
Lesko
pie?
was our state
all right.
representative. He was known for that.
They're bringing home the apple pie. That's better for my arteries.
Bringing home the apple pie. I like that. Well, apple pie is good as long as anything is good, but
Well,
too much of one.
Well, anyway,
Too much
I'm really thrilled to represent everybody
Uh-huh.
here in town and work with Senator Flexer. We work very well together. We're always pushing to make sure that people are treated fairly, and you know what I always say: you treat people in Windham fairly, then you're going to treat the whole state fairly, and that's the way it should be, and that's the way it is. So we have been working hard on it. There are a lot of obstacles that we have to deal with, but we still work hard. We get what the obstacles are, but we have to make sure people understand all the difficulties that we face as a state and as a town like Windham or Bridgeport, Waterbury, Hartford, all these towns that serve their region. We serve the whole region here by having Eastern Connecticut State University, the Tech School, QVCC, Quinebaug Valley Community College, or all the fire school. We do the work here for the region. We have the 3 homeless shelters. We have more public housing on a per capita basis than anywhere else except for Hartford. So we do the work. We do the work for Eastern Connecticut, and we need to be recognized for that work. And so Senator Flexer and I continue to work at making sure that we are recognized for every single thing that we do, and we do even more than that. So that's just a little brief summary of all the great things that we do here for Connecticut and for the region, for education, and for creating a great business climate and business opportunity for the businesses that are in existence here.
Well, one of the
Well,
things
it doesn't go unnoticed either. Let me tell
thank
you.
you.
You know that. You know that. It doesn't go unnoticed.
I'm appreciative.
one of the things that I wanted to say. Bill talked about what a great town council we have now, and I just want to give a shout out to the town council I served on for 6 years. A lot of them are still there, and they're holdovers, and it's a good thing. And we did so much with the help of the citizens who supported us, and that is building a new senior community center, renovating our high school with the state paying most of the cost, and the parking garage downtown with the state paying a lot of the cost, more than half actually, and then the Shaboo stage with the state paying some of the costs, and those things, and now you guys are following up with another great project that I thought should have been done a long time ago, and that is the renovation of the 3rd floor in the town hall that used to be the Superior Court for Windham County. I think that's great.
I think that that's long overdue.
Yeah.
The woman sitting between us and I talked about that back in 1998, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
1998,
yes.
I think we originally talked about that. And we worked for that. We worked hard for it. And it got put off.
Yep.
And we finally have it, and I can't wait to have that historic building completely renovated.
And I brought it again when I first got elected to try and get the 3rd floor done. And, it was still a continuation of what you had suggested, Bill, and, what Dennis had wanted to do when he was the probate judge. And certainly Judge McGrath wants to have this 3rd floor done as well. It's beautiful space, and it's historic, and it's something that, it's time for us to work on that and make sure that we utilize that space in the way that it should be utilized. So I'm very happy to see that this is progress that we're making in this area.
I think it's a great move, and I think I think Jim Rivers said the other day that the town hall is the seat of our government. It's the central part of our town, and it's a beautiful building, and we should be proud of it. And it's been, if you haven't been in there in a while, go in there. It looks pretty good. And they're doing a lot of nice stuff in there. It's all freshly painted. It's clean. It's well maintained, and I can tell you from my experience having being in town hall for 12 years as judge of probate, it's looking a lot better now than it was then. And I think that and it is, a lot of it has to do with the Democratic Party and the Democratic Party officials working together, going across the aisle whenever it's necessary, and people are really coming together here. And we're look at our property values. What it's done for our property values, all that construction, and it was something that is overdue. But we did suffer, as Bill recalls even better, quite a blow when our major industries, diminished and then left, and that was not easy to recover from. But we're back. We're back. We are the focal point, the central part of northeastern Connecticut, I think.
I really believe that. I do. I think that I think you just need to walk up and down Main Street. We have got a very diverse group of people that are opening businesses down there, and I you know, as we used to say, downtown or you know, uptown was where we were going on a shopping spree. But here we are, and I think we're seeing a lot of positive stuff happening in this town. I can't wait to see the clock tower back and restored. That's going to look amazing to have that back.
Well, you were a part of a really important volunteer movement by you working with people like Ken Folan and others, and Roy Dingler, and those lights. I mean, those Christmas lights. That is, I believe that to some extent was generated by all this other stuff we've been doing, because you know it's like builds on one thing builds on another. And people are sprucing up their homes. Landlords are fixing up apartments. Things are looking better all over.
Because the
the
values are increasing.
Values are increasing. That's right. And that is going to make people want to move here.
Yeah.
Maybe with children, and maybe not. Maybe and maybe people who were planning on leaving are going to stay because the quality of life here has definitely improved, even though we've gone through hard times with COVID, and we're still doing well. That's because we are working together. That involves leadership, kind of leadership we're getting from our state representative, state senator, our town council, our town manager, our town officials, our town workers, our board of ed, our superintendent of schools. I mean, things are, to me, I mean, we've made great strides in the past 10 years. Great strides.
I think we have, yes.
And it continues. It continues
Yes.
with the current crop of leaders. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful.
We have some major challenges ahead of us, but I have a feeling with the group that we have, we're going to get through this, and we're going to continue to grow Windham.
Yeah, when 6 years I was on the council, none of this happened overnight. None of it happened with everybody in agreement all of the time on every detail. But we all, if where compromise was necessary, we compromised, and then we went to the voters with our plans, and the voters, some people voted no, just like when we remember the new middle school back in 1994.
Oh yes,
we won that by 4 votes, and I think most, it was a great deal. You look back on it, we paid $8 million local for a $24 million school, which actually, if it was built today, it'd be worth 50 or 60 million. So it was great, and people worked together from different parties, and it worked out very well. Mm-hmm. I'm really proud of that. And
one of the things I just want to say, Dennis, is about all the funds that we raised to decorate downtown at the holidays.
Yes, yeah.
That was all private money.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah.
Those people just they were more than willing to open their pocketbooks to help us out. That's incredible, and I think it's because they see things happening. Somewhere in the vicinity of $50,000.
Wow.
It was beautiful. I purposely drove by whenever I was out just to see the beauty that was created by your amazing work and by the people who made those donations, and who designed that? That was wonderful work, and the design and the money spent on the lighting, really going over the Great Bridge, and wow, we really got a great visual now when you come in and out of town.
Yep.
And certainly during the holidays, it was just fabulous.
Yeah, I think people are really swinging together, and there's always a little bit of disagreement about things, but not like it used to be. It's really we're really more.
To branch off of something Susan said, though,
yeah.
We still have neighbors that have a lot of need in this community.
Absolutely.
A lot of need.
Absolutely.
And I would ask anybody that's thinking about making a donation or just out of the generosity of it, coughing up a few bucks, come on down to St. Paul's to the Covenant Soup Kitchen, because we could really use your donations. I work with a small group of people who help raise money down there, and we know how hard the struggle is. So, we could really use anyone's help.
You're involved in the Bread Box concerts with Bruce John.
Bruce and Therese John.
And Therese Jenkins John.
Yep, there's about 5 of us that work or those volunteer for those
Marvelous.
Organizations. Yep,
Yeah.
and we get it done.
Yeah.
We get it done.
Well, you're using your retirement wisely.
I'm trying.
Committing
I'm trying.
committing your time to the community.
Well,
it's
you know,
amazing.
we have to give back, I guess. You
Yep.
know, and this is my
Yep.
way.
Yep.
You know.
See, I'm not retired yet, so
You know.
I'm still
Well,
working.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
working on it.
You should have planned better, I guess. But
I definitely should have planned better, but you know that was me. It's always been me. I've always been a little bit impulsive sometimes.
yeah, well, join the club.
Yeah,
Join
well,
the club. When the former chair said to me, "I need you to run," I said yes before I thought about it.
yeah, well,
You know, and now I'm glad I did it.
I thought-
You know, but
I was amazed at you making that comeback to electoral politics after all those years, and I don't think anybody worked as hard as you did on the campaign.
well, thank you.
And it
Thank
certainly
you. Well, we had
not
to
only
get
did you-
Democrats elected. I didn't want to serve with anybody else.
not only did you get a lot of votes for yourself after being out of electoral politics for a long time, but you also helped our other candidates because it's all a synergy. It works together. You got to work together. It's no man is an island, as John Donne said. It's you can't do it alone. You have to be on a team, and team is vital. And Susan knows all about that.
Absolutely. We have to be a team, and we are a team here in town, and we have a good team at the Capitol, and we're working well together with everybody. You know, we all have different ideas, and we all have to figure out how to make all of our different ideas heard and figure out how to deal with those different ideas to make it great for our community, make it great for our state. That's how we work together as a team, and it has been working. When we've had Governor Lamont, and before that, Governor Malloy. We've had great people working, running the government, running our state government, and we've changed the direction in numerous ways. But we have a lot of things we still have to do to bring Connecticut to where it should be. And we will be working on those issues as long as I'm around at the Capitol, and as long as we have a great team to work with. So it's wonderful that we do have the chance to discuss things and to understand how it all works. Because I think that one of the things that we always need to do is understand how it works and understand the implications of what we do. And obviously, whether you're in the town council making rules and ordinances or somewhere else at the Capitol passing laws, we're never going to understand every single thing that happens when we pass a law. But we do have to make sure we do the best we can with it.
Well, you know, Bill, you mentioned the needy in town, and that's another thing that I wanted to at least mention is that the town council is engaged in the very noble venture of developing a fair rent commission ordinance.
Yes, we are.
That is something that I tried to do that back in the 80s, and frankly, it ended up going to referendum because I couldn't get the town council or board of selectmen back then to approve it. And it went to referendum, and we lost by quite a bit. And this is back in the 80s when rent started to skyrocket, and it was 1984, 85 or so. And during that campaign, I learned a lot about electoral politics, both for issues and for people. And that's the one thing about being proactive. Even if you don't get what your goals are when you first start, if you keep at it, that's true of anything, at work, anywhere.
Yep.
If you keep at it, perseverance is a really important characteristic to have.
You have to.
And I'm sitting here with people who have perseverance.
You have to remember, Dennis.
So do you.
Back in the mid '80s, Wyndham was reeling. We were still reeling from the destruction of redevelopment.
You're right.
We were still and then we were reeling from the loss of the American Thread Company,
That's right.
moving out and just abandoning us, and so this community was unsure of where it was going at that point. We were a mess, and I think now that we have had the time to look back and see where we can go, I think we have the opportunity now to accomplish some great things. I'd like to see us get that property over the river behind the mills cleaned up, and see something happen with that in the future. We have some great opportunities right now, and I think we have some great community leaders that are working with us.
Yep. I really appreciate our mayor, Tom DeVivo, and he stepped forward a few years ago. I can remember when Tom wasn't involved in politics. In fact, when I first got involved, his father,
Yes,
Jim DeVito, was
Yeah,
involved.
I worked with Jim too.
I know you did. You worked with all of us.
Yeah,
We were all
yeah.
together on that. And he was on the Board of Education, and he was. I didn't know a lot of people. I didn't know. I met you. I met him. I met John Lesko, Andy Carey, all these people. And I came. Who is this guy? I'm not from. I didn't grow up here like you did. You knew people I didn't know. You still do, and I know a lot of people, but I don't know as many people as you do, because I went to school in a different town. And it makes a big difference. But I'll tell you, people were very welcoming, and Dick Smith was very friendly to me, and he was on the town committee at the time, and. Ray Murphy, who just recently passed away.
Yes,
sadly.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Louise Guarnaccia and her husband Jack recently passed away. I mean, so many great people that I met way back then, and and they for a while, some of them said, "Oh, who's this guy anyway?" This legal aid guy.
Yeah, legal aid guy. That's what you were called too, legal aid guy.
But I was welcomed, and it was. I'll tell you what, it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, both personally and community-wise, to get involved in politics with the Democratic Party. I still remember Al Verdefe was chairman, and
he was a great chairman.
yes, he was. Well, as I had mentioned at the last town committee meeting, he's the one person I could probably interview and get a lot of, and you too, and get a lot of history that I don't know. Because I had planned to do oral histories, and maybe just getting Al on the radio to talk about
that'd be great.
The old days, and
yep.
And because he goes back when John Dearest was chairman as well, I think right after Al, and then before that, Rusty Potter later became a great Superior Court judge,
Yep.
Great friend of legal aid. He was on our board of directors. John Spector, another nice guy. He was chairman at one point, an attorney, and of course the great Joe Danahy.
Yeah.
Joe Danahy was my mentor.
Yeah.
When I was younger, he'd stop me on the street, not to mentor me about the law, but about politics. He'd say, "Oh, come on," he said, "you got to get control of that town committee." And then I told him, I looked it up, and I said, "Judge Danahy," I said, "when you were chairman of the town committee, it only had 10 members. We have 50 now. Yeah. It's a little different, a little tougher, but." Yeah. He was very, very wise, and I'm really proud of his daughter being on the.
Yes, Nora.
Nora Danahy, very, very smart woman, being on the state Supreme Court, following in the footsteps of her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very, very impressive.
I also want to mention Harry Gaucher, who was not a Democrat, but who befriended me early on, and was a wonderful, wonderful man.
He was wonderful. Yeah, he was in the Rotary Club, and I knew him from a lot of different community activities that I was involved in, and so he was great to work with, and really cared about the community and the people here. So he's
these
very
people
good
that
guy.
we've mentioned have played a major role in the history of this community in a very positive way.
Yep, and
Yes.
forging it forward.
That's right.
Yes.
We've always had great town committees.
Yeah.
I remember the days when we used to pack the high school auditorium and the hallway outside with a caucus.
Yes, I remember.
I was
that.
chairman on one of those things.
And you go 2 or 3 votes, before you could come up with a committee.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
right,
right.
that's right.
There would be competition. There was 2 slates, competition for it was 50 seats. 40. It was 40 seats back then.
And we'd end up with a blended slate, and we all worked together.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And in the end, we did. I mean, we certainly bickered among ourselves a little bit, but that's it. I mean, there's no. This is not mathematics. There's not, except for the financial part. There's no clear-cut answers. You have to set priorities, and I remember working with I worked with an organization at one time. We used to have these priority-setting sessions. And we would spend a lot of time setting priorities, and then once we got them in place, we just list them, and it was, it wouldn't mean anything, but you have to set priorities. You have to say, now it's time to do this, now it's time to renovate Windham High School, and do it. Everybody get behind it, and that's what we did here, and now it's time for John Lesko wanted so badly to have a community center here. And it failed at referendum way back when, and I wow, I know John would be so proud to know that we have his dream. And bringing the seniors and the kids together, to me, is a great thing because the generations need to come together.
Yeah, and I think it made financial sense as well. What were we going to do? Have two separate buildings? No. You know, I think that our state rep, when she got us that money and said it only can be used for, I think it made a big difference.
Yeah.
And we came together and we built the community senior center.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yes.
great building. It's
That's right,
and
yeah.
it's being utilized.
Oh,
There's always something going on.
I cannot get over the numbers.
Yeah, I can't either.
Angela Fournier did a presentation before the town council in relations to the budget, and it's amazing. The out of town people that have joined it's great.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
great.
guy. I represent Andover as a lawyer in the town of Andover, and I was over there, and this guy comes up, and he's on the board of selectmen. They have a 5-member board, and he's wearing shorts and stuff, and he says, "Oh, I just came from Wyndham." He says, "I play pickleball over at the community center," which is great.
Yep.
It's great. It's great because we want everybody. One thing about this town that's really great, that has always impressed the heck out of me, is everybody is welcome here. Nobody.
Yes.
We don't shut the door. We don't close it down.
No,
at night.
look at our third Thursdays or our Halloween fest. It's open to everyone.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
We want people to come here. That's another reason why, the lights that you guys did, and all of the things that attract people. Josh Niles' idea of that
Oh,
Christmas
the parade. That's what set us off.
That impresses people from out of town, because when I was coaching and went around to towns all over the region, when they saw the construction going on here, oh wow, a lot of things going on in Wyndham. They were impressed by it. They know, people in the region know, and that worked out real well. Susan, do you have anything that you want to say about the legislative session?
Oh, it's going along. We are working on bills. I'm in the education committee, and we're listening to all the different changes that we're trying to do in education. I'm on the human services committee as well, and I sit on appropriations, and we hear everything. I'm in the subcommittees for education, human services, criminal justice, and the court system. So there are a number of things that I could go into, but I'd say right now we're having our hearings. Pretty soon, the hearing process will be ending in the next week or two, and we will be going into reading all the bills to see what's going to be transferred from the committees to the floor of the House and the Senate, and we'll see where we go. So I think a lot of us are working together, and our voices are being heard. It doesn't mean necessarily we get our way all the time, but we keep fighting.
Keep fighting for Wyndham.
Yes.
Can I throw something out there, Dennis?
Yeah.
And you might want to consider, you and Susan, having our executive administrator from town on, because she's put together 3 great festivals.
Yep.
For this coming summer. The Latin Fest will be back.
That's
and
Xiomara Capo.
Yes, and that's going to be a huge event.
Yes.
Event. I'm looking forward to those. Matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that the Democratic Town Committee has a presence at all of those.
Oh, excellent. Very
Great.
good.
At all of those. So,
Very, very
so
good.
that's somebody you might think about having on your show to talk about the great things that are coming up.
Yes, we would very much appreciate that sort of thing. Have her on the show and to talk about the festivities that are going on here. And I love the Shabu stage and the fact we have
what
the
a
great
plus.
park. And I think we're going to have facilities there.
They started.
Oh, did they?
I
Tell
don't-
us,
yeah,
tell us a little
yes,
bit.
Yeah, the water department is cutting in the hookups, and the trenches will be dug soon. So
Yes.
we're doing a lot of that work in house.
And that's going to
So
save
it's
a lot
good.
of money in the
Yes,
long run. We
yep.
don't have to do the porta potties anymore, and
Nope.
we'll have a permanent potties and
Yeah.
permanent.
I guess that's what you call them.
I'm for permanent potties. I'll tell you, I've always
I had
liked.
some last night myself, but oh no, never mind.
I always preferred that to porta potties myself. I think I'm probably not alone.
You'd say the permanent ones are the
Yeah.
best. Yeah. Well, I think they're more, let's say,
Yeah.
clean.
And don't forget,
I think it's.
Rec Park is getting a major overhaul this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell us.
The splash pad is getting
Yeah.
all rebuilt. We're getting a small pool for the splash pad to be in, and the bathrooms down there are all getting rebuilt and restored. I think it's going to be great down there again.
Yeah, we put a lot
Very
of
good.
ARPA money into it.
Yep.
Dawn had a lot to do with that, working with Don.
Yes. Muirhead.
No,
No,
Fazio.
oh God,
Don
I'm
Fazio.
going back 50 years now.
Oh,
Don
You're
Muirhead.
it, yeah. No, that's
Oh, he was a good guy.
No,
really.
that's not 50, maybe 30,
Yeah, I'd say
20.
30.
20? Okay.
I'd say 20. He was there when I was there as judge.
Okay.
Except for some of the time. Anyway, Don
Benedict.
Fazio.
Yeah,
Don
Fazio.
Fazio, our public works director, fabulous. Does a great job, no question. And yeah, we're there's a lot of projects on the list of ARPA projects that are involve parks, recreation, and that's great stuff. People like that stuff. It's good for people, makes them happy, and happy people are more effective people.
Yes,
Would
they
you say?
are. I'd
Oh,
say
yes.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They get on fire. They do the deal, and they get it done.
And
So-
I'm happy just to be here with all of you. I mean, with
Well, thank you
of
both
course
for
with-
having me.
Of course,
Thank you.
with Susan Johnson,
Very good.
with Bill Sayers, and also, of course, Matt Rupar. Got to mention Matt Rupar. He's got a shirt on that is.
He didn't want us to forget his name.
It says Matt Rupar on it in green letters.
In case you forget.
Green letters with a dark back with a black background. That's pretty impressive, man.
We have to also thank
That's
Susan
specially
Bysowitz for being on the show. I'm very, very happy she was
Oh,
out
yeah.
here this week talking about the money that's been coming into the town, and I'm very appreciative being able to work with the executive branch, and so it was great to have her on the show, and I'm so glad I had Bill Sayers and Dennis O'Brien with me on the show, and thank you, Matt Rupar, for all your production work.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, are we at the end now?
Yes.
Okay, it's Dennis O'Brien. I'm here with my co-host Susan Johnson, who's actually sitting in the witness chair, and Bill Sayers sitting in Susan's chair, and the chairman of the Democratic Town Committee, Town Council member, and Water Commission member, and we'll be right back next week with another great guest. Thank you.